Holly. Welcome to my murder she shed. This is the place you hear true crime right from my she shed. And this is Wacky World Wednesday. Wow, and I have a case that involves an evil clown. And most likely you have never heard of it. So thanks for being my true crime friend. I've appreciated all the likes and subscribes I have got. You guys have been amazing. Y'all rock. So sit down, hang around. You deserve a crown for always having to endure my rhymes before I tell you stories of true crime. Please turn that frown upside down. If I get enough likes and subscribes, maybe I will dress like a scary clown. Oh wait, I already do that every video, I guess. Oops. You know what? That is one thing I truly hate and terrifies me. Not many things do, but clowns do. Anybody out there have a phobia of clowns like I do? Oh, I hate them. One time we were at this 4th of July thing, and my boys told the clown to come give me a hug. It was terrifying, and they were laughing their butts off. And I was terrified. I was screaming. I did not want to hug this guy. I'm sorry, I didn't know what it is about men dressed like clowns that terrifies me so much. I have this trust issue with men due to things that happened in my past. So when I have a clown in front of me and I cannot see, and it has this scary face and I don't see the man that's under it, it really bothers me, and I just hate it. Does anybody out there have a clown phobia besides me? Like, leave it in the comments if you do, and what scares you about a clown. Some people do have this, and some people, they don't bother, and some people love clowns. It's just, I guess, according to who you are. And what is the reason we're talking about clowns? Well, because my true crime case today is about a clown called Silly the Clown. His real name was Ron Schroeder. Do you see his picture? He even looks terrifying without makeup. That's what I'm telling you. You don't know what's under that clown. That's the scary thing. His fans truly love Silly the Clown. They said he was always funny and courteous, but to his wife, he really was just an evil clown. Christine would meet Ron when they were still in college. The two had met at a picnic at the Milwaukee County Zoo in 1987, the good old 80s. Ron was handsome and charming, the kind of person who could strike up a conversation with a total stranger. Just the kind of guy that just could walk up to you and you'd soon be friends. Not if he's dressed in a clown outfit. No, wouldn't be friends with that guy. I know at least one of my sons is probably watching this video, and he is laughing his butt off at me right now because he knows how much I hate clowns. And I see you, Hunter. I see you laughing at me. I see you. And see, just like I'm scared clowns would have, Ron was like a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde type character. You never knew what you was going to get. And Christine would soon find out. While they were dating, Ron began to take clown lessons from a local clown group. Did you guys know you had a local clown group? Me either. I hope I never walk into that building. Oh. The domestic abuse started early in the relationship, and Christine would often be seen wearing long sleeves and turtlenecks just to cover up all the bruises and marks on her body. I think a lot of abused women do that. The day Christine went shopping for her wedding dress to marry this man, her mother would say she showed up with a black eye and cuts all in her mouth and lips. The day she bought her wedding dress. This should be a sign not to get married. But she did. So the couple did get married in May of 1991. Ron was 21, Christine was 22, and she was 7 months pregnant. Soon after they got married, he began to call her fat and ugly when she was pregnant. Wow, I hate that. She dropped to 95 pounds. He would punch her on the side of the head and kick her in the legs, places where bruises wouldn't be noticed. And one day, when she was 7 months pregnant with her daughter, Katie, he flew into a rage, attacking her, dragging her into the living room, and throwing her onto a couch. Their daughter, Katie, was born on July 3rd, 1991, 5 weeks premature. I wonder why. 2.5 weeks after her birth, she was hospitalized with respiratory complications. Not soon after, Christine noticed bruise marks on the infant's stomach while changing her diaper. Then she began to notice bruises on the buttocks and the face of baby Katie. Christine thought Ron must have fallen asleep with Katie in his arms and maybe accidentally squeezed her too tight. This is what I don't get. If the man is abusing you, why do you not think he is going to abuse your children? He has anger issues, and it's not going to change from you to your children. It will not. No, this man is evil. Of course he is. He's a clown. Sorry, clowns out there. I know there's not all bad clowns, and I apologize if you are a clown. I'm sure there's some good clowns. You can just stay on your side of the world, your side of the state, okay? Thank you. She rarely criticized Ron, fearing him more and more. On the night of August 24th, 1991, Ron was painting his huge clown smile on, getting ready for his performance at the Grand Round Grill. Sounds like high class, huh? When Christine went and picked up Ron from the clown show about 11 that night, she noticed that her daughter, Katie's breathing was labored. Ron, nevertheless, went ahead with plans to watch a baseball game with a few friends. He didn't care. He knew exactly what happened to that baby, so he didn't care. After he left, Christine changed Katie's diaper. As she lifted Katie's leg and buttocks, the baby cried out in pain, y'all. Horrible. Ron arrived home at about 11 p.m. Christine washed out baby bottles in the kitchen sink while Ron tried to feed Katie. He then handed his daughter to Christine. She tried to burp the baby and saw she wasn't breathing. Ron then dialed 911. He actually even blew a single breath into Katie's mouth. What he thought that would do, I don't know. But the baby did vomit and started breathing in short, shallow breaths, but stopped again. I can't find her heartbeat, Christine screamed as she held the little baby. I'm not sure if he hung up the first time he called 911, but he ended up having to call them a second time. And then the ambulance was dispatched. But little Katie was in a coma when the paramedics wheeled her into Children's Hospital. Catherine Marie Schroeder was removed from life support at the consent of her parents. She was pronounced dead at 5:55 p.m. August 25th, 1991. An autopsy found 4 of the baby's ribs had been fractured, and her stomach, chin, and left ear had been bruised. Contusion to her brain had caused hemorrhaging days early, and her retina had detached, causing blood behind the eyes. This is usually caused by shaken baby syndrome. But no one was ever charged with killing little baby Katie. But pretty much everyone knew Ron Schroeder or Silly the Clown could be blamed for what happened to baby Katie. 3 years passed and Christine had another daughter. It was taken away as soon as she gave birth, to the fact that her first baby was tagged as a homicide. The second baby would then stay with Christine's mom until she was 5 years old. Thank God, huh? Get away from him. Meanwhile, the marriage of Ron and Christine slowly fell apart. On a winter day in late 1995, Ron flew into a jealous rage and kicked Christine in the ribs. 2 days later, she moved out and filed for divorce. And I think she got her little girl back after leaving him. Ron was headed for divorce and looking for romance on the rebound. One night at a dance club in Greenfield called Liquid Sweets, Ron met Brenda Kowalczyk. I cannot say that last name. Kowalczyk. She was 23, a hairstylist and a fashion model on the side. And Ron was 26. He smiled, came over, and gave me some balloons, Brenda would later say. He seemed very flashy and wanted the attention of everyone in the room. I wasn't interested in someone like that. Sounds like a narcissist to me. Sounds like that he had a touch of that a bit. A few weeks later, she saw him again at the club, performing card tricks at the bar and dressed to kill. Dressed to the nines, as they say. Brenda was like, what the heck? And she gave him her phone number. As soon as they started dating, Ron gave Brenda a pager. Back then, we had pagers, guys, before the cell phone. Although it seemed like a thoughtful gesture, it was not. It was his way of controlling her. She knew that she was expected to return his calls on command. Brenda would say Ron's control tightened. He would tell her she was fat. He would pinch her stomach and breast until they were bruised. She became so skinny, like a size 3, because he would do that all the time. He talked her into quitting her modeling job, telling her it was bad for someone who wanted a serious relationship, because he's scared she would see other guys while she was working. He also said I didn't need to dress up or wear makeup, that all I needed to wear were jogging pants and sweats. Girls, warning signs right there. Warning signs. Brenda became pregnant not long after they started dating, and he tried to push her down some steps when she was pregnant. Horrible. So she moved out, but she knew she couldn't make it on her own with the baby. So guess what? She went back to him. And the couple's child, who was a boy, was born in April of 1997, his first boy. At Ron's insistence, they told the hospital nurse it was the first baby for both of them. He didn't want to tell about the others. He knew it would get taken away. The child was a difficult baby and was hospitalized 2 or 3 times. His insistent cryings began to get on Ron's nerves. Brenda would later tell police that Ron would call her little baby sissy boy, girly boy, and I am not going to say the other horrible words he would say. But you get the picture. So one day after they moved into a new house, she said she recalled the baby becoming fussy. Ron sat at the computer in the living room, and Brenda went to the kitchen to make the baby a bottle. Suddenly, the baby began to scream bloody murder. She rushed into the family room and found Ron standing over the baby, holding a bloody burp cloth to the boy's mouth. Now, I'm not sure why, but a lot of the little infants that he is around end up with blood on their face. And later, I kind of get maybe what he's doing, because he does do something really weird to a woman. She ran in there and she said, "What the heck are you doing to my baby?" So she was trying to free herself out of Ron's control, so she went and spent some nights at her mother's house. But she did go back again, but she said the last straw came on November 21st, 1998, when Ron had a gig as Silly the Clown. Hurrying to get ready, he asked Brenda to pack up his costume and makeup. When he got to the clown party, he called her, cussing her out that she had forgotten to pack the glue for his red rubber nose. I actually think that's quite funny myself. Yeah, I would have forgot it on purpose. Probably the nose too. She was gone before he got home. Then in 2002, Ron got a great job as a mortgage loan officer. He was making more than he had in his life. Then he married a 24-year-old named Nicole Chafee. She was 8 years younger than him. Their first child was a girl, and another followed 2 years later. Nicole remained a stay-at-home mom. Then in January of 2005, Brookfield police were called to investigate suspicious injuries to the youngest daughter, then 8 weeks old. Wow, imagine that. An officer found Ron in the bathroom holding the little baby. She seemed to be choking on her own blood. The officer cleared the child's airway and an ambulance took her to the children's hospital. Doctors examined her and discovered bruises on her abdomen and chest, along with several fractured ribs. Some were already in the process of healing, so there was some older fractures there as well. Her right leg was fractured in 2 places, likely caused by twisting or jerking with excessive force. And Nicole, I don't know if she was just wanting it not to be true, so she was making up stories, or she was actually lying for Ron. She told investigators that doctors had found her daughter had a blood deficiency that could cause an unusual bone disorder, possibly weakening the baby's bones. Not sure why she would say that unless she was scared of Ron and he told her to. 10 days later, the baby was removed from their home and placed temporarily with Nicole's parents. Both daughters went into foster care, and the following summer, Nicole moved in with their parents and filed for divorce. She eventually was given custody of her daughters after she got rid of this evil clown. So in 2006, Ron decided, I guess he was young again, because he began dating an 18-year-old girl named Cassandra. Barely legal. Maybe he thought he could control and manipulate a young one better like that, because that started right away, the manipulation. A couple of months into the relationship, Ron told Cassandra he had gained access to her personal email and cell phone accounts without her permission. He had read her emails and text messages. He saw where she had emailed an ex-boyfriend and was not happy about it at all. On the night of April 28, 2007, Cassandra returned with Ron to their home. This is how gross Ron is. Ron had a male roommate who was watching a movie in the living room with a friend. And Ron and Cassandra went upstairs to Ron's bedroom. "Why were you acting so rude and stupid tonight?" Ron said. He suddenly pushed her onto the floor and pounced onto her. She struggled, and listen to this. He jammed his fingers deep into her nostrils, into her nose blade. Was this one thing that he did to the babies? Did he stick it all the way up to their brain? I hate to say that, but that is so weird. Like, why? Just why? What would possess you to do something like that? Ron's roommates heard the commotion and hurried upstairs. Cassandra was hysterical and her face was covered with blood. I mean, he just jammed it up into her nose. And the roommate yelled, "What did you do to her? This time you went too far." So Cassandra went to the police department the next day and did file charges on Ron. Police arrested Ron at his home. As they questioned him about bloodstains found on his floor, he explained that he frequently had nosebleeds. Does he do that to himself? That's just weird. I don't get it. Do people have nose fetishes? Heard of a lot of fetish. I'm not sure about that one. I have to look that one up. So to demonstrate, he ferociously began to pick his nose until the officers ordered him to stop. He was booked and released. 3 days later, police returned to Ron's house with a search warrant and confiscated his computer hard drives. They wanted to investigate Cassandra's claim that Ron had illegally hacked into her email. But they found much more than that. The following day, Cassandra went to the police station again. To investigators, she told another story. A couple of months earlier, she and Ron had been drinking at a bar. Cassandra had 5 or 6 drinks at the bar, and she was pretty lit when she'd come home. So when they got home, she just basically passed out in bed. Next morning, Ron began to joke with her about taking her pictures while she was passed out and she was naked. She said, "I thought he was kidding, but he wasn't. He actually showed her several digital photos of her naked in bed. She told him not to show them to anyone." On Ron's computer drive, police found photos of Cassandra, the ones that she had actually seen, but also an additional 27 photographs of her lying in the bed nude. In 11 photos, there was a male hand touching and inserting. That's all I'm going to say. He was doing things to her basically while she was sleeping in different areas of her body. Let's just say that. She felt very violated and she felt like Ron had taken advantage of her. Well, he did. No man has a right to do that without your knowledge. I don't care if you're married to him, whatever. But that's not the only thing they found on Ron's computer. Investigators found 160 photos of what appeared to be child pornography. So they did arrest Ron on May 4th of 2007. He was charged with 2 felony counts of second-degree sexual assault, 27 felony counts of making a visual representation of nudity without consent, and 1 count of battery domestic abuse. So, and he ended up going to trial in March of 2008. Of course, he wore his slick suit. He tried to look his best, tried to look innocent. I think he should have worn his clown outfit because that would have really got him a few more years. If it had been me, it got him life for sure. So Ron's lawyer was trying to say that Cassandra knew that she was being touched, that she was awake in the photos. But the judge could tell, obviously, that she was not awake. But the judge said some pretty rude stuff and hateful stuff. It was awful. Like, she's a victim, and you're going to say that to her? I'm sorry, Judge. I do not approve. So Judge Davis did sentence Ron to 6 years in prison and 12 years of extended supervision. But he minimized the sexual assault, calling the offense a very low level of seriousness. Cassandra, he said, was a young woman looking for fun. She was not a nun. How inappropriate is that? And listen, the judge went on to describe Ron and Cassandra's sexual relationship. He would say for Ron to have touched her in that area in that way, that it was a regular or normal, common kind of behavior. The 11 photos of Ron touching and doing stuff to her while she slept, he said, were not highly explicit. And he gave him pretty much a free pass for that. That is blaming the victim, basically. No, she didn't deserve that. How dare you, judge, to blame the victim? Cassandra would later say, "I didn't do anything wrong, but I felt like I was the one on trial." They always go after the woman's character. Do you see very often where they go after men in a sexual way like they do women when it comes to court cases? You just don't see it. And it's a shame that that has not changed yet. Unfortunately, Ron was released from prison in 2017 and has never been charged for little baby Katie's homicide. I hope one day Katie and his other little victims find their justice. They're still in the process of trying to prove that he did kill baby Katie, and I hope they do. There are several types of clowns: the tramp, the hobo, character clowns, rodeo clowns. Many perform in the style known as Augusta clown. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. Augusta. It is a clown that is a clumsy fool in mismatched clothes and white face, wearing red wig, a big nose, and a spooky upturned smile. In Batman, the Joker was actually one of these clowns. So was Pennywise. The character in Stephen King's It was an Augusta clown. I don't know how you say it, Augusta. All I know is it's a spooky butt clown. And also, John Wayne Gacy portrayed that type of clown as well. He was a serial killer, if you're not familiar with him, who showed up at block parties as Pogo the Clown. But mention these names to performing clowns and their happy smiles turned downwards. It's characters like these, they say, who have made some people hate clowns. Add Silly the Clown to that list of evil, evil clowns. All right, guys. Gonna end it with I hate clowns, and also I'm gonna end it with an abuse hotline number. If any women out there are getting abused by their spouse, their loved one, please, please seek help. Or even men that suffer with abuse from women. It can go both ways. Get the help you need. I'm going to leave this tip line, and I hope you get out of any situations that put you or your children in danger. Because I don't want any of my subscribers to be in danger. This is what we're teaching here, safety. And I want you guys to stay safe. And I want y'all to have a blessed week. And God bless y'all and be with you through this Wacky World Wednesday. And Wacky World period all week. All right, bye. Love y'all.